From Studio 3 at Buzz TV, it's The Horse's Mouth with Tom McManus.
All right, welcome into another edition of The Horse's Mouth here at Tommy Mac's, of course, at my bar, where everybody's welcome to have a seat, grab a beverage, get a chance to tell what they're doing out there. Return visitor, new visitor, it doesn't matter. We love them all. Brought to our good friends at All Dry Services of Southeast Jacksonville. Major Harding is here. Chris Budihas is here. Coach Dave Campo is here. My three amigos. I like hanging at the bar. What can I say?
Barflies.
That's right. And we're going to talk a little technology with our friend Bill Genovese from Kyndryl. So let's welcome in the panel. Bill, how are you, my friend?
Very
welcome
good,
back.
Tom.
Good to see you again.
Nice seeing you.
How's everything? Major?
Tom?
Always a pleasure. Always. I love it. All right, Bill, tell us about Kyndryl and what's the latest with you, man?
Yeah, I've been with Kyndryl now coming up just over 3 years. Kyndryl is an ex-IBM division. Our largest managed services, technology services, and management outsource provider in the world.
Whoa.
And IBM spun us out. I was a former IBMer working in that division and three others. They spun us out about 4 years ago. We're completely independent now. So we still have a lot of IBM expertise and skills, but the difference with us, we work with everybody. We work with all the cloud hyperscalers, SAP, Oracle, Microsoft, elite partner. And that's what we do. We're a system integrator or a managed service provider. I'm a consult partner. So I'm a consulting partner in the consult side of the house. That's part of my job, working in capital markets and financial services clients. But my bigger, more exciting job, which I've taken on about 2 or 3 years ago with the company, I'm our global leader for quantum computing services and consulting. And we're going to market in that space. And we're shaping up a number of offerings, and that's consuming a lot of my time. Yeah.
Okay, so you do realize you're talking to a bartender? And a football coach. What's this quantum stuff? What are we talking about?
We're talking about a new compute paradigm and model. So classical computing, what we've grown up with, what we know, and it's pretty much how we're wired and we think. You know, we have a problem and we're forced to kind of think binarily. It's got to be this or that. We're not programmed, necessarily to look at all the possibilities that are optimized beyond 0 or 1, binary. Quantum physics opens that whole paradigm up. And using quantum mechanics and physics, and a number of properties, entanglement, superposition, coherence. You got to keep the quantum computer stable and at a certain environment level in terms of cold. It opens it up to give us more solutions in terms of optimization for problems. And it's going to solve things and problems we didn't even know we had. So some use cases are traffic optimization, supply chain. 2024, a boat is getting stuck in the Suez Canal. I mean, come on. Should that be happening in this time? And crippling global supply chain? Absolutely not. It's ridiculous. You look at regional wars combined with global pandemics. We can't handle one thing at one time to solution it. We get hit with multiple things happening, multiple disasters, triangulated. It's going to be game over. And we need a better mousetrap. And this is where this is going. So
I got to imagine the AI of it all, with all that data being collected, that's just coming in.
The other thing to take away from this is, as humans, we gravitate to the shiny new object. Now it's AI. A couple of years ago it was blockchain. It was the internet years ago. You look at any of these things, they didn't move forward in isolation by themselves. They converged and integrated with technologies around them, networking, communications, better compute. Same thing with AI. It's not going to subsist in its current shape or form. It will converge with quantum and other technologies. And you won't even realize it. You won't even realize it. I mean, just like we were dealing with dial-up. And then all of a sudden, boom, here it is in the palm of our hands at lightning speed. It's going to get even faster than that. And it's going to be in your glasses. You know,
it's funny. This morning I was thinking about. So my dad died in 1995 at age 75, and I'm sitting there thinking about, all right, go from 95 to today. Oh yeah. And all the changes.
It's mind-boggling.
It is mind-boggling.
He wouldn't even.
And in the next 20 years, it's going to exponentially scale even more. I mean, I've got, 2 boys, and seeing them digest technology.
Yeah.
I mean, the 5-year-old, he's sending me Amazon pick lists.
Yeah.
I mean, he's half a step away from pushing the button and ordering.
Right.
At Dad's wallet.
Well, everything that I do with technology, my kids, I have to call them and ask them, how do you do this?
Yeah.
And
they know it all.
And that's it. I'm 60, and I'm not taking technology away from them. I want to embrace it for them and share it with them.
Yeah.
I had a deep discussion with my 9-year-old. They're both intrigued with Cybertruck.
Yeah.
And now they're seeing the Amazon electric vans.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. When you get old enough to drive, Kai, you may not be driving anymore. You may just summons a car to the front door and take you to school.
When my son, when my youngest son is 32 now, right? When he was 5 or 6, a teacher told us that if he didn't learn the computer, by the time he was 18 years old, he'd be ignorant. Yeah. He would not be able to do anything. And she was right. It was right. Unbelievable. Yeah. But
that's incredible. So going forward, Bill, is technology for everything, for the most part. Business-wise and just maybe socially-wise. Is it? Yeah, is anybody not used to, is there anybody out there?
I mean, that's the whole other side of it. Purists push back in terms of the human element. Humanity, technology's taken humanity away from us, the essence of being human.
Yep.
I mean, Elon Musk was just on a show with Keanu Reeves.
Yep.
Talking about AI, and,
Yep.
And Keanu shot back. Well, has AI taught us to remain more human or not? Yeah. Silence.
Yeah, right.
And he's one of a kind.
Yeah, absolutely.
So is Elon. But that is a key. That's a good point. So that's the cautionary guardrail area.
Yep.
I mean, it becomes further embedded in our lives, but do we lose our sense of being human?
Yeah, right. Right.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing AI has not picked up on yet.
Right.
I thought that was an interesting.
Could it?
Very, very controversial, and if you do a lot of research and you look to see where society and the world is going to be in the year 3000 or 4000, a lot of futurists say we're going to merge with technology. In terms of biologically and physically, humans won't exist anymore. We'll be a hybrid. And there's evidence of that now in terms of technology.
Wow.
Robotic arms. So you look, 300-400 years from now, it's not out of the possibility, but then we could be living 200-300 years.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you don't teach them the human element,
that's true. That's the drawback.
I'm going back to Terminator.
Exactly. What remains of being human? Truly human.
Wow.
So. But I think it's a benefit. You look at any societies around the world. China, I lived there for 4 years. Okay. I worked for a large telco there, Huawei, which is in the controversial crosshairs of Trump 1.0.
Okay.
I was there through that whole process.
Yeah.
And phenomenal amount of tech. And the Chinese were an agricultural society for 70 years. And, technology has basically changed their lives overnight. Okay. Through mobile. Okay. And, so it's very transformative, so are you willing to give up some elements of privacy, what have you, to make your life better, longer? That's a compelling question, right?
Well, I mean, listen, you talk privacy, we all know this. You have a conversation with anybody about anything. Next thing you know on your phone, that's something that's on your phone.
Yeah, exactly.
They already know. Regardless of where you are in the world, your data's out there.
That's right.
And that's the whole other side of quantum, too. Encryption. So the U.S. government, other governments around the world, it's proven that quantum computers can break all known encryption. So I work in that space of this a lot.
Yeah.
Okay? We've got partners that scan enterprises, find the vulnerabilities on the algorithms, and then we have other vendors that have already, including the major cloud companies, moved in post-quantum encryption direction. So
the algorithms is interesting to be able to hit those at the right time, and it's
the scary thing is, the analogy I use, Tom, all the time is Marriott Rewards hack. Okay, any of the large-scale healthcare providers, Aflac just got hit. Okay, these thieves, we're all customers. Verizon, we're all customers of them. We wake up the next day after reading the news, I'm not affected. You wait 6 months, I'm still not affected. What is this, noise? No, it's not. It's called harvest now, decrypt later.
That's right.
So they're sitting on the data. They can't decrypt it. As soon as quantum comes online and somebody offers them $500 billion for the data, game over.
Yeah.
How about that? I don't even think about that. But that's amazing.
Blown away at this bar.
Yeah, I know. Listen, it's great.
It won't come after right away. I don't think it's going to come after a single institution or company. That scenario. It'll be wider spread cascading damage.
Right.
We had with Microsoft and CrowdStrike a few months back.
Yes.
And, a quarter of the internet goes down or something.
Right.
And that's not directly related to the fault of those companies. It's related to companies that are backdated on technology. And in this scenario, they haven't updated their encryption.
Okay.
And they're going to be exposed.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Well, Bill, thanks so much, man. You can't open our eyes to a lot of
That's
stuff.
great.
We may need a debrief here.
A little scary at
I gave
times.
you a lot to chew on and drink over.
Exactly. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, that's
All right,
great.
fellas, thank you. Always a great time at my bar. Everybody's welcome at this bar. Make sure you check out Bill's profile. You see Majors, you see Chris's, you see Coach Campo, you see this conversation and thousands of others. Go to the dailynewsnetwork.com website to catch it all there. Till next time, stay safe, be cool, and get encrypted. I don't know. That's my new slogan. Get encrypted.
Yeah, exactly.
My name is Todd Marshall, and I own All Dry Services of Southeast Jacksonville. We serve all of Northeast Florida. Every day, our business is doing the more mundane, but yet sometimes catastrophic issues. These can be plumbing leaks, they can be sewage backups. A bathtub overflows, somebody leaves the sink running. So we have a 24/7 response. If you call us, you're going to get a live person, and you try to get out there as quick as possible so that we can minimize the damage.